Back at the Brighton hot dog shop, Naomi, his lovely bride, shooting the video. Here he is, a man that is equal to no one. He's that good. Jim Equals from the Beaver Allegheny County Times. And what they do better than anyone, Friday Night Lights. So week one in the books, just some of the things that happened. Tell me about a very emotional situation at Western Beaver and explain that to the audience about one player who sadly is no longer there, but his brother carrying on his name.
Yeah, young man, he was unfortunately killed in a car accident earlier this summer, and his brother became the starting running back this year and ran for I'm trying to remember, he well over 100 yards and led Western Beaver to the victory this weekend. So it was really you know, an emotional time for them, and it's just, you know, amazing that his brother would step up like that in that first game without him.
Yeah, Chandler, his brother, passed away, and his younger brother, Raven, 144 yards in the victory. So very emotional. They beat Avella 43-0. Aliquippa over Newcastle 24-0. My producer, Michael Carr, who does a great job for me on the weekends, he came up with some pretty amazing statistics for me, and I said, Mr. Carr, I said, really? They're looking for their 10th straight appearance at Heinz Field?
Yes, that's an amazing streak. They just, you know, year after year. You know, I did a story a couple of years ago, and I interviewed Mike Smianik's wife and Bob Halkin's wife, and because the tie-in was, they know not to make any plan for Thanksgiving weekend because that's Whitfield Championship weekend, and they know that you know, they're going to be, you know, making plans for Heinz Field. That their husbands are going to be practicing on Thanksgiving Day, and that Thanksgiving weekend is going to be you know, Heinz Field weekend. So, but yeah, it is amazing what Aliquippa has done. You know, 10 years in a row.
South Fayette defeated Central Valley 20-0, but also a tough night for Central Valley because of a major injury, right?
Yeah, they got a new kid. I think his last name is Solomon, but
yeah,
really, yes, and he was showed some good things at Aliquippa, but obviously, you know, a lot of depth there, and transferred to Central Valley, a lot of high hopes, but he got injured. You know, hoping he's okay. I haven't heard when he's going to play or what the status of his injury is, but again, you know, let's hope he's okay.
All right, Quaker Valley, a winner over Cardinal World North Catholic, 55-21. And it is the second stint for their head coach, so Quaker Valley off and running with a W, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of an amazing story there that the previous coach stepped down, had parental problems there, parental interference he cited, and so Jerry Vecchio, who he coached them in the 80s, he's been their track coach for the last 30-some years and a highly successful track coach. And he stepped in as head football coach on short notice, and like I said, really kind of kept that ship rolling. So good luck to him. You know, it's an interesting situation out there, but you know, he's a good man, and you know, a lot of good athletes out there. It's more of a, you know, obviously more of a soccer school, but they put some good football players together out there too.
This is the red and white of Wisconsin, where his son goes. I love the Badgers, but the other red and white. Look how his wife is getting a close-up of that. The other red and white, Bulldogs for life. My friend Steve Roebuck and I were talking. I've always loved freedom.
Oh yeah.
Don't explain. I can't explain why, but I do. And they have struggled mightily in recent years. And I've often said when they start winning up on the hill again, it'll be good for everyone. And Freedom over Hopewell 7-3. They grinded it out until they finally scored in the fourth. So, is this the season of hope for Freedom?
I think so. They've got,
yes.
I really think it is. They've got, excuse me, a big-time player in Cody Ross. His grandfather was Butch Ross, the legendary football coach at Hopewell, Coach Tony Dorsett. Cody's a big-time linebacker, great player, great kid. The quarterback, Zach Rosa, is a good player, too. His dad, John Rosa, the AD out there at Freedom, and John was a quarterback at Hopewell back in the 80s. And so, yeah, really good getting something going out there.
Beaver. Darius, what was his last name? He's gone, and we wish him nothing but the best. But boy, they just kind of picked up where they left off. A former Freedom Bulldog, a great one, in Geneva College Golden Tornado football player. Of course, we're talking about Jeff Belts, who's the coach at Beaver. 69-21 over Joe Greco's Lions. What's up with that?
That really shocked me. It didn't shock me that Beaver won, but to put up 69 points, I mean, they were just, you know, they. Brody Lift stepped in at quarterback, and you know, this kid, he's not Darius as far as the you know, the speed and the moves, but he's more of your prototypical quarterback as far as he's about 6'4", he's about 200 pounds. He's actually going to go to college as a linebacker, but he stepped in and did pretty well as the quarterback, taking over for Darius. And he got some time last year. Coach Belts put him in there a few times at quarterback, and they would spread Darius out and just have him run a fly pattern, and the kid would throw the ball down the field and stuff. So it wasn't his first varsity action, but it was first time as a starter, and he really came through.
All right, Moon over Ambridge. Ryan Lynn makes his debut as the head coach of Moon. Talk about their 34-6 win over Ambridge.
That's another situation where the previous coach stepped down this summer, and that was unexpected. And Coach Lynn stepped in. He was an assistant and really kept things going. And it really seems like they didn't miss a beat. I know last year they were, I think three games. They were 1 or 2 plays away from knocking these teams off, and they almost beat Woodland Hills last year, which is saying something. And so I think this year, I think that's their big goal. Let's finish these games, and we proved last year we are good enough to play with these teams. Let's get it done this year. And so Coach Lynn's really doing a fine job out there.
Listen, timesonline.com. Brag a little bit about your co-workers at the Beaver Allegheny County Times. Listen, papers do a lot of things locally when it comes to news. But when it comes to sports, this is what they do. This is what they've been doing forever. And if you want to get plugged in to everything that they do, get a subscription. Times Online, very interactive web. They do a lot of podcasts. They do a lot of video. And they've got a great group of reporters. But high school football is one of your specialties, and soccer season underway, cross country. So this is really your sweet spot.
Oh, it is. This is a great time of year. Obviously, with Mike Myers has been, been there forever. Bill Allman. Chris Bradford, AJ Chiapese, a lot of good talent down there, and this is a good time of year that really get to show our chops a little bit with football. Soccer has just become huge in the Beaver Valley. It's amazing when you go to games, you're seeing just as big a crowds for soccer games as you do for football. So it's really taken over here in the valley. So yeah, we're getting to cover a lot of that, and so yeah, it's really a good time of the year for that.
We talked about a Big 7 team earlier, Western Beaver. I want to talk about Rochester. Coach Matt Zook, they'll be getting it underway for real this coming Friday night. Maybe some of the other teams that we didn't really hit on, and some things that kind of stand out in your mind as now the season is underway.
Yeah, well, obviously Rochester is they had a few down years, but Coach Matt Zook, he hung in there, and last year 11-1. This year, I think we're going to be strong again. Just another powerhouse team. The team I saw last weekend, was Southside, and they really pulled a big upset. They played Osh, and Osh had Tyler Bradley, who passed for 2,000 yards last year and 26 touchdowns. And Southside came in there and they picked them off 3 times. They drove 60 yards at the end of the game. They scored with 27 seconds left to win the game. And Southside had a quarterback, Trenton Seek. And this young man, he made his first start as a sophomore. He made some throws that, when I talked to their coach after the game, you don't coach these things. This kid, he rolled out, he threw a shot put pass that completed. He threw one that he just threw up a prayer as he got hit, and it went to the end zone, bounced in the air for a touchdown. He threw another one. He was running against his body, threw against his body back that way for a completion. And like their coach said, obviously, you don't coach somebody to do that. He said it's just an athlete making plays, and so this young man had a big game. Just like you said, making plays, very unorthodox, but they won.
Listen, a real tradition too is before the game, after the game. It is Friday night lights that are on here at your neighborhood hot dog shop. They're everywhere. Brighton Hot Dog Shop. Click on their website, find the location nearest you. But it really is a tradition to get ready for the game, and then obviously to talk about the game after. There's nothing like Friday night football and a trip for a chili dog to a Brighton Hot Dog Shop near you. We're going to come back, talk some Steelers football, one more preseason game against Carolina, and then they open up against the Cleveland Browns, and we now know the Browns will have Deshaun Kaiser as their starting quarterback, the young man taken in the 2nd round out of the University of Notre Dame. All of that next, so stay with us. Good evening.